Colombia bans 10 sex tourists in a single day, most of them American. 10 foreign nationals denied entry into Colombia in a single day, 9 Americans and 1 Anguillan, all caught trying to enter for sex tourism. Tourist gets robbed of 170 million pesos. It is the same old story over and over again. A tourist, this time from Belgium, meets a woman in a bar, invites her home. She drugs him. He wakes up the next morning, Rolex gone, Omega gone, 2 phones gone. 170 million pesos, $42,000. How many times have you heard this one? Because at this point it's hard to feel sorry. Tourist rolls into Medellin, thinks he's the man, a woman fakes interest and suddenly he thinks he's irresistible. The city isn't the problem. The ego is. When will they learn?
Back home in South Florida, I was just in Medellin, Colombia. I wanted to address something. I came across this comment in a Facebook group that I'm in. It states, well, you asked this question. The question is for all my dudes that's been to Colombia, what leads to guys getting scoped? My opinion is that it's due to pillow talking and flexing. Other people say it's due to Tinder. Which one do y'all think leads to scoping? I've never been to Colombia. All I have is an opinion, but put me on game. Now, we've heard of so many people getting drugged. I mean, there's so many situations as you see, especially of recent. There was a famous DJ that got drugged. There's another case that I saw today. It's like every day. It's crazy. But let's see. What did I say? Everything everyone is saying, I was referring to the rest of the comments. People were saying, yes, the dating apps, it's people dressing flashy. It's guys bringing multiple girls back home that they meet off of the apps and doing all types of other crazy, irresponsible things and not knowing how to move in the country. I said everything everyone is saying. I'm agreeing with everything everyone was saying in the comments. I can wrap it up in one word. Thirsty. The one constant thing I've seen when guys get drugged and robbed in Colombia is that they are in a state of thirst. They do things without really thinking it through. Think critically before making decisions, weigh the possible outcomes. What do I mean by that? Think about it. Every time you hear about a guy getting drugged, robbed in Colombia, they were doing something crazy. They're meeting a girl off a dating app or several. She says, oh, I'm going to bring my friend over, and you, unassuming, you think you're about to live out some fantasy because why? You're thirsty. The thirst is real. Thirst. This is why I said thirst. Every time you're in a state of thirst, you're not thinking critically or logically. You're thinking like emotionally through this survival need to mate. I get it. Or a need for connection because, you know, so many men in America are deprived of intimacy. Not just obviously the physical intimacy, but the emotional intimacy, the feminine energy from women. Because we live in a society where feminism is big and we have the westernization of our culture here, which is why so many guys are leaving because they want something different. And I get it. A girl for a short amount of time is not traditional. That's not what I'm saying. I'm more so talking about the feminine energy part. They're deprived of that. You understand? Now, in my opinion, there are 2 types of guys that should not be in Colombia long term and possibly should not be there at all. Number one, the YNs, the young ninjas, the young, and this is not race specific. Guys, I would say under the age of 35. So early 20s, late 20s, early 30s. So early 20s, 20 to like, let's say 32, 33. Guys that are going out there, that are still wilding out, that are still trying to find themselves, that are still irresponsible, still getting lit, still not aware of their surroundings when they go out, still getting drunk, super high, or both at the same time, still moving mad and wild. Those guys are going to get in trouble 100%. I've seen a lot of them. You know, since post-pandemic, a lot have been going out there now into Colombia so much more. And I'm not judging anybody because when I was younger, I know I look much younger than I really am. When I was much younger, I was like that. But I was in the US, I was in Miami, I was in Los Angeles, and I was wilding, but I wasn't in Colombia. I wasn't in a place where there was a lot of desperation and struggle and, you know, living in survival is going on. I lived in the suburbs my whole life. So and even where I partied, I never went to the hood. Even when I was in Los Angeles, I didn't go to parties in the hood in South Central. Nah, I stayed in Los Angeles. I was in Hollywood, North Hollywood, West Hollywood, the Valley, if you know those areas. When I'm in Miami, I stayed in Brickell. South Beach, in the burbs, North Miami. I never really was in the hood areas. And even then, it wasn't as, I would say, destitute as the hood areas in a third world developing country like Colombia. I love Colombia. That's not a diss. I'm saying this to keep it 100, keep it a buck with you. The truth is, YNs don't need to be out there, especially not long term, because they're just moving reckless at the end of the day, right? Now, you can be a young guy that's wise because you know expats, you have a community out there that are telling you where to go, what to do. You meet up with them, you network, you go out with other guys when you want to go out to a club or an event or any type of social gathering. And that's not to say you can't move by yourself. You can. But I would say the more sober you are, the better. And I don't just mean like alcohol, weed, or any other type of drug. I'm talking about sober-minded as far as getting out of that fantasy space, that delusion of thinking, oh, I'm gonna have this girl and that one and this one and this one and that's gonna happen, right? In order for those type of things to happen, well, that's a whole different story. I'm not gonna get into that. I'll just say avoid being reckless. So the YNs are the first group. The second group of guys that I think shouldn't be there long term are the older guys. So we're going late 30s, let's say like over the age of 35, 40s and older, 50s, 60s. I've also seen this with guys, the retired guys, the guys that have gone through a divorce, a separation, bad situation with their baby mama, and they're just trying to clear their heads, so they're going out to sow their royal oats. If you've seen Coming to America, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, to get it in and to get their mind off of what's going on in their life in the US. So they go out there, again, thirst. They're thirsty. They're tricking. They get finessed by the girls, charge them, I don't know, whatever those girls are charging, they're going to charge these guys 2-3 times the price. And again, I'm not advising or promoting anything. I'm just stating the facts of what I've observed and what I know for a fact. Older guys that are desperate, that are thirsty, that, you know, let's say they were married for 10 years, they're divorced, they see these gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous, Miss Universe level beautiful, Miss World level beautiful. You know how many Colombian and Venezuelan women have won that title, and yes, they are all there in Medellin. And again, they start to fantasizing and getting to this place of delusion, and they get finessed. They go on the dating apps. They go pick the girls up off the street, 2-3 at a time, and they think, oh, my wildest fantasies are going to come true, and they get too comfortable and they let their guard down, and they have the drink that's offered by the girl, and they go to the bathroom and leave her there in the living room so she could spike their drink with some scopolamine, the drug of choice, or whatever else they have these days. They just get too comfortable. These are the two guys, the YNs that are wilding out and immature, moving mad, reckless, and the older guys who are thirsty. They're the older version of the younger guy. Yes, they're wiser and more mature because they're older. A lot have been married and divorced, been serious relationships. A lot are also single fathers. And if they're not, they're just guys that have gone through a lot with relationships that are been negative experience-wise. And they just want something fresh, young, and different. I get it. We've all been there. I've been there myself several times. Again, I've been in Colombia 13 times, maybe more. Medellin at least 3 times, Cartagena at least 8 times, and what I'm saying goes for Cartagena, Medellin, both. I've been to Cali. Cali can be dangerous, so I wouldn't go there unless you know what you're doing. I'm fluent in Spanish, well, conversational Spanish. Gotta know some Spanish. Again, the YNs and the thirsty guys that are older, I'm just stating this, saying the state of mind that these guys are in. They're not thinking clearly. I say all that to say this: the type of guy that can live in Medellin long term is the one that's mature, the one that's going there for reasons that are much more profound than just a beautiful woman. That's very important. But for the cost of living, for the lifestyle, for the culture, for a different pace, to get away from the stress, the fast-paced nature of the US, the volatile political environment, the unhealthy food, I can name so much things. The healthcare system, which is expensive for most people. Be that person. You just want a better quality life. And then you get integrated with expats that are already there. You're low key, you're a regular person. You ain't wearing a bunch of jewelry. You're not trying to show off. It's not a fashion show like it is here in every major city in America. Everyone's trying to show off and compete against each other, buying things they can't afford to impress people that don't care. Get that out of your head. You move there to really build genuine relationships, to network, to, level up, to build a business, international business, to become more versatile as a person, to learn another language, to learn another culture, to enrich your life. All of the things that are quality. You're thinking much deeper. Be a man of quality, then you're ready for Medellin. If you need any more information, DM me, official Kobe, official KOBY on Instagram. I've been out there a lot. You can ask me anything if you want any advice.